It's not a mystery to me. The same thing that happened to my daughter is what happened to Whitney. There's only one person that was around both occasions.
You won't say his name. Nick Gordon is who you're referring to.
I won't say his name.
It's not a mystery to me. The same thing that happened to my daughter is what happened to Whitney. There's only one person who was around on both occasions. You won't say his name? Nick Gordon is who you're referring to? I won't say his name. Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown's daughter, Bobbi Kristina Brown, has been gone for a long time, but according to her father, the circumstances surrounding her death still don't make sense. Like many others, Bobby Brown has spoken out numerous times hinting that Kristina's ex, Nick Gordon, may have been responsible, not just for her death, but for Whitney's as well. I want the world to know that Bobbi Kristina did not die from the bathtub incident. That's not what happened. Bobbi Kristina was starved to death. Do you think he knows what happened? I don't know what happened that night, but he does. You walk through that door and see her just like you saw Whitney. It was like living a nightmare all over again. But allegedly there's so much more to this story. And word on the street is that Kristina knew what happened to her mother. And some say the eerie similarities between their deaths were planned. I've also heard that she was present during many of her mother's arguments with people like Clive Davis. And then, right before the Grammys, she and Clive had a fight just 2 days before Whitney died. And from what I was told, Bobbi Kristina was there for some of that fight. And then the next thing you know, she's dead. So what exactly did Kristina know about her mother's death? And was it connected to her own death? Let's get into it. The tragic life of Bobbi Kristina. Kristina grew up in front of the cameras. She appeared beside Whitney multiple times, like during an interview with Barbara Walters when she was just 8 months old. At 1 year old, she was on stage with her mother at the 1994 American Music Awards when Whitney accepted an award. But when her mother died, Kristina suffered more than anyone. She was even hospitalized after suffering a breakdown when Whitney's body was found in her Beverly Hills hotel room. Despite her pain, she put on a brave face at Whitney's funeral and memorial services. Her mother's death put Kristina even more in the public eye. Her family tried to protect her, but eventually she stepped into the spotlight, joining a Tyler Perry series, appearing at the Billboard Music Awards, and even doing an interview with Oprah. But sadly, she never lived long enough to continue her mother's legacy. On January 31st, 2015, Bobbi Kristina was found unresponsive in the Georgia home she shared with Nick Gordon. She was discovered unconscious in a bathtub, just like her mother. She passed away in hospice care on July 26, 2015. Her death was ruled as drowning and intoxication, according to the Fulton County Medical Examiner.
The story about Whitney having a heart attack was probably just a cover-up. In fact, the coroner only noted that Whitney had mild heart disease and some blocking of an artery like a lot of smokers do. So the idea that she fell into the tub...
The toxicology report found alcohol, a cocaine-related substance, sedatives, anti-anxiety medications, and morphine in her system. However, the medical examiner's office couldn't determine whether her death was intentional or accidental. They simply stated, the underlying cause of death is the condition which starts the downhill course of events leading to death. And in this case, it is the immersion associated with intoxication. The pneumonia and encephalopathy resulted from the immersion and drug intoxication. Eerie parallels to Whitney Houston's death. Bobbi Kristina's death drew striking parallels to her mother's. Whitney Houston died on February 11th, 2012 at 48 years old. She was found unresponsive and submerged in the bathtub of her Beverly Hilton hotel room. According to reports, Whitney's death was due to accidental drowning in a bathtub, but toxicology results revealed a small amount of cocaine in her system. There were also traces of Xanax and other substances. Officials claimed Whitney possibly had a heart attack due to hardening of the arteries, which caused her to lose consciousness and drown. But here's the thing. The coroner never found any actual evidence of a cardiac event. The story about a heart attack? Likely a cover-up. In fact, the coroner noted that Whitney only had mild heart disease, similar to what many smokers have. So, if she didn't have a heart attack, what really happened? And here's something even more suspicious. There wasn't enough water in her lungs to prove she died from drowning. That means Whitney didn't pass out and drown. Someone placed her in that bathtub. The suspicious role of Nick Gordon and Ray J. And you know whose names always come up when talking about Whitney's mysterious death? Nick Gordon. Here's your script translated